What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response. We cover political news, keep you up to date, and keep you informed with everything that the government does, because the government's always doing some underhanded stuff, especially this Biden administration. Man, this Biden administration has been doing a lot of things that normal administrations do not do. Of course, you could also argue the Trump administration did a lot of things that a lot of administrations do not do. Yeah, our political landscape has vastly been changing over this past, 8 years, I guess. It's changed a lot. The growing divide in politics has been getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And, I like to say a lot. It's because the left is going so far left. It's went completely off the cliff and has left the game completely, and they're no longer there. But they're just way, way over there. Now, a lot of people are trying to say that the right is just going, everybody's just going far right. Well, that's not necessarily the case. You see, when how this whole system works left and right? Like, it's a motto that I used to have is the left shows society where to go, and the right shows us how to get there. I still have that motto, as a matter of fact. And the way things are working now, the left is going so far left, it's shifted everything to the left. So it looks like the people that were centrists are now in the right wing. So everything has shifted left because the left has gone so far left. So in a sense, you could say that, but normal centrist positions are now right-wing positions. Yeah, especially if you're on the left. If you try to be a moderate or anything like that, no, you can't be a moderate these days. Because if you're not far left, you're right-wing. Even if you have classical liberal values, if you have some left-wing values, but you have some conservative values too, you're right-wing, folks. That's just how things are these days. And that's because the left has gone so progressively far left, it's outright insane. And if you don't know, that's because we're in the middle of maybe the beginnings of a communist revolution in this country, and they are trying to impose their communism on the entire country. And people like me and people like you were standing up and we're fighting. We're pushing back against this. We see the writing on the wall. We don't want communism whatsoever. We want free speech. We want the right to keep and bear arms. We want the right to a speedy trial. We want the right to be able to kick our president out if our president is incompetent. The 25th Amendment. We love our Constitution. We love our Bill of Rights. However, if you don't support Pride Month, you're a bigot, and they try to excise you from society. Well, a free society does not do that. You have the right to not talk to these people, and that's what the left can't seem to understand. They want to shut everybody up and then start yelling about free speech. But we're having a fight in government right now. Our government's so divided. I know, I'm sorry. I got into kind of a long rant on left and right just now, but let's get into the story because, yeah, it's about oversight, the executive branch, all that good stuff. You know how we love to do. Check it out, y'all. Republicans threaten to hold Attorney General Garland in contempt over Biden documents case. What? They're going to hold the Attorney General in contempt of Congress. This is kind of unheard of. I've never heard of it. So if you've heard of it, it's unheard of to me, at least. I've never heard of an Attorney General, the U.S. Attorney General, being in contempt of Congress. I'm sure it's happened before, but I've never heard of it, so it's unheard of to me. Now, this is all over Robert Hur's report. The House Oversight Committee and the Judiciary Committee, they had their little committee hearing on Robert Hur, and he testified. He got freaking grilled, in case you didn't see that. But they got a redacted version of Hur's report. And they wanted the unredacted version. They want to see everything. And they have the right to see everything because it is oversight, y'all. That is what is the greatest thing about our country is no single government body has more authority over other government bodies in a sense. Congress has oversight of the executive branch. Supreme Court oversees everything. Congress oversees the Supreme Court, so we have checks and balances to keep everything just right. least in an investigation like this one, we need to have our oversight because we need to see if Robert Hur left anything out. Oh, you might say, well, he's a Republican. He's registered Republican, but he also works for the establishment. That's all I'm going to say on that. Let's get into this story. House Republicans threatened to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress if he did not turn over unredacted materials related to the special counsel probe into President Joe Biden's handling of classified documents. In a letter obtained by the Associated Press, Reps. James Comer and Jim Jordan demanded that Garland comply with the subpoena, and the two Republican chairmen sent last month as part of their emerging investigation into special counsel Robert Hur's decision not to charge the president. Comer, chair of the Oversight Committee, and Jordan, chair of the Judiciary Committee, ordered the Justice Department to turn over the unredacted audio and transcripts of Hur's hours-long interview with Biden and his ghostwriter by April 8th. If you fail to do so, the committees will consider taking further action, such as invocation of contempt of Congress proceedings, the two lawmakers wrote. The Justice Department reacted to the letter late Monday, saying the department has been extraordinarily transparent with Congress throughout the process. Yeah, you give them a redacted investigative report. That's not transparent, yo. That is not transparent whatsoever. If you want to be transparent, give the unredacted report. See, they love to twist things around. Oh, we've been transparent. You can say you've been transparent, but have you been transparent? No, you haven't really been transparent. You put up a facade of transparency, and then you send a redacted report to the people that are supposed to be overseeing what you're doing. Yeah, they can't see everything, so you're hiding something. That's what redacted means, by the way, in case somebody doesn't know that. The Attorney General released Mr. Hur's report to Congress and made no redactions or changes. The department provided documents to Congress, including a copy of the president's interview transcript, and Mr. Hur testified before Congress for more than 5 hours about his investigation. Emma Delaney, a department spokesperson, said in a statement to AP, "Given the department's ongoing and extensive cooperation, we hope they will reconsider this unnecessary escalation." Then why the hell would they have requested the unredacted documents, the transcripts, and the unredacted audio tapes if they already have it? I'm waiting. Oh, wait, they're not going to answer me. Got him! The threat is just the latest tension point between Republicans and the GOP-appointed federal prosecutor who appeared before lawmakers 2 weeks ago for a more than 5-hour interrogation surrounding his 345-page report that questioned Biden's age and mental competency, but ultimately recommended no criminal charges for the 81-year-old president. Hur said that he found insufficient evidence to make a case that would stand up in court. That is not necessarily true. He found in that report that, yes, Joe Biden willfully retained classified documents, shared information on those classified documents with a citizen, right? Somebody who's not in government, doesn't have any kind of classification certifications. That was hard to say, by the way. Just a regular old person, a ghostwriter, right? For the reason that Joe Biden wanted to write a book about his life so he could sell that book and make money off of that book, enriching himself from classified documentation. Sound familiar to anybody? And it's just the simple fact that Joe Biden had the classified documents in the first place is all the legal trouble, in my opinion. You know, I'm not a constitutional lawyer or a lawyer at all. I've never studied law. However, I do know that if I was to take classified documents and bring them home and keep them in my damn garage, I would be thrown under the jail. You know, they wouldn't go after Hillary Clinton either. I wonder why they wouldn't go after Hillary Clinton. I don't know. Maybe the establishment takes care of its own. Right? Joe Biden's an establishment politician. He's been corrupt his entire career. You can look at his wealth gains that whole entire time. Look at everything that's going on, the impeachment investigation. All the evidence doesn't have a smoking gun but points in a certain direction. This classified documents case, considering Joe Biden has been having classified documents since the 1970s, tells you that he didn't care that he stole essentially classified documents. He had no authority to unclassify documents, which, by the way, you know, how do these people get these classified documents to their house? Like, especially like Joe Biden, because he had so many. It was like over 1,800 classified documents, something like that. It was boxes of them. It was a bunch of stuff. And the fact that he had it, shared it with just a regular old individual, a damn writer, you know, that to me, just that right there, you get a conviction from me. Yeah, guilty as charged. So, what the hell is Robert Hur talking about? Couldn't make the case? Yeah, he was talking about, oh, it's because he's got a bad memory. You know, when you're looking at something objectively, somebody's memory doesn't matter whatsoever. You know, if you get a 90-year-old dude that raped somebody 40 years ago, I know, statute of limitations, but whatever, just hypothetical, you know, we'll do a little hypothetical situation here. You get somebody who's 90-year-old, let's say they can still prosecute, and the guy doesn't remember doing it, but you can prove he did it. Do you not prosecute this guy? Sure, he might be finna die, but you're going to prosecute the guy anyway. They do it all the time. They prosecute elderly men, elderly women all the damn time. So, don't give me that crap that he's a doddering old man and his memory is poor and he would be compassionate and a jury would sympathize with Joe Biden. How do you know what a jury would think? That blows my freaking mind. What I wrote is what I believe the evidence shows and what I expect jurors would perceive and believe. See, that's not a prosecutor's job. Technically, it kind of is, but a prosecutor's job is to see a crime, gather evidence, or, you know, you get the police investigators to gather the evidence. You put all that evidence together, you make a case, and then you bring that case to court, right? And the jury decides if he is guilty or not. That is not up for the prosecutor to decide if he is guilty or not. I know prosecutorial discretion. I understand this. And they do it all the time. They drop cases on people all the freaking time because they can't make a good case. But in something like this, you have the evidence, right? You have the proof he done this. He stole classified documents and shared it with somebody he's not supposed to share classified documents with. This guy is the President of the United States, a person that we should hold in the highest regard because he's supposed to be the best of us, right? How else did he get to the position of being on top of the executive branch, which essentially amounts to a king, historically speaking, right? He is the leader of the free world. He is supposed to be the best of us. However, a U.S. president, in my opinion, hasn't been the best of us for a very long time. I did not sanitize my explanation, nor did I disparage the president unfairly. Despite his defense, Hur faced an onslaught of criticism from both sides of the aisle for the commentary in his report and the decision to withhold pressing charges against Biden. Yeah, you can understand why they went after him on this. You got the evidence, you've got a clear-cut case, and you decide not to charge. What? Hours before his testimony, the Justice Department released a redacted transcript that provided a more nuanced picture of the roughly year-long investigation, filling in some of the gaps left by Hur's and Biden's accounting of the exchanges. Republicans, including Comer and Jordan, have insisted for the past year that, unlike Biden, former President Donald Trump has been treated unfairly in his own Justice Department case for mishandling classified documents. During the hearing, GOP members reiterated that while Biden was let off the hook, Trump has been singled out and vilified, questioning if the facts of the two cases were all that different. They are very different. Rep. Tom McClintock called it a glaring double standard. Now, I wouldn't say it's a double standard. I would say it's very, very, very partisan prosecutorial discretion, if you want to go there, right? Very one-sided prosecutorial discretion. Donald Trump's being prosecuted for exactly the same act that you documented Joe Biden committed, he told her. However, there are major differences between the two probes, and here's where we go with the mainstream narrative machine twisting facts around. Watch this. Biden's team returned the documents after they were discovered, and the president cooperated with the investigation by voluntarily sitting for an interview and consenting to searches of his homes. Trump, by contrast, is accused of enlisting the help of aides and lawyers to conceal the documents from the government and seeking to have potentially incriminating evidence destroyed. Kind of like Hillary Clinton did, right? Right? But there are some major glaring differences here. First of those being that Joe Biden wasn't authorized to have classified documents, therefore he stole the classified documents. Joe Biden didn't keep these documents well hidden either. They were laying around his garage. He had them in his Penn Biden office. He had them all over the damn place, in his basement. He, allowed his ghostwriter access to these documents, right? He wasn't supposed to have these documents in the first place, so they're stolen. Now, Trump, on the other hand, that's a whole different case. Now, I'll say right off top, if you guys are still listening, that in hindsight, I would say that what Trump should have done is he should have gave these documents back and then fought it out in court. However, thinking about it like that, it's like, okay, well, the decision for him to keep those documents is a logical decision, right? Like, if you get fired from someplace and you have some documents that are your documents, right? You're going to take that stuff home. And if the company calls and says, hey, we want those documents back, you're going to be like, no, those are my documents. That's personal information. That's stuff pertaining to me. You're not just going to give those documents back, right? No, you're going to keep your stuff because that's your stuff. He had plenary power to declassify those documents. That's what, honestly, he should have declassified all those documents before he left. Now, you could argue the point that, sure, he can just say they're classified, declassified, and blah. And sure, that could be the case. But there is a legal process to go through to actually have it verified, I guess you could say. He could say, declassify all this. That doesn't mean it's instantly declassified. I've heard that argument from a lot of people. Oh, he could just say it's declassified and it's declassified. Yeah, that's half true. He could just say it's declassified, but it still has to go through the process. He should have done that. But that's looking at it in hindsight. Because he done something that every single president ever has done when they leave office. Just about. I mean, you can't guarantee that, right? Leave me a comment down below if you think otherwise. But you could just about guarantee that at least the last 20 presidents have taken documents, classified or not, home with them when they left office. So that's a normal action. They didn't go after Obama. They didn't go after Bush. They didn't go after Clinton. They didn't go after Reagan. They didn't go after Bush. I know I already said Bush, but the other Bush. You know what Bush I'm talking about. And I know the order in those was kind of mixed up with Reagan and Bush and Reagan and Carter and whoever. Don't matter. But they all took documents home. That's my point, basically, and the fact that Joe Biden wasn't authorized to take documents home. And he did. Now, I can tell you what it is. They just didn't want to charge Joe Biden because he's old, right? But personally, if you're looking at it through an objective lens, age, memory, sympathy shouldn't matter at all to a court case. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got for this one. I know I've ran kind of long on this one. I've been trying to keep my videos a little bit shorter. But, I can't help myself sometimes, y'all. But y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. Is this the actions that they're taking the correct actions? Should they go after the unredacted documents? Even though they've claimed that they've given them the unredacted documents. Like, why would they request, try to hold him, go to the length of holding him in contempt of Congress for something that they already gave them? You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense to me. I believe they're lying. That seems to be the more simple explanation, that, yeah, the Justice Department is just lying to the press. I mean, why not? It's the press. They will take that lie and run with it, for sure. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. I sure do appreciate it, you guys. And y'all try to have a good day. And don't forget to hit that like button. Peace.